Hi there, great to see you today. Now today I want to talk to you about a touchy subject, but it's a good one. The reason you don't get better or get as good as you could be with each passing year. I know, that sounds a little harsh, but it's true, and the problem is this. The reason you aren't as great as you could be is because you are an excellent storyteller. Yeah, I said it. You're a great storyteller. You weave compelling, intricate, persuasive stories that you tell to yourself. More often than not, it is the stories you tell yourself that are holding you back. They're the only thing that are standing between you and whatever it is you want for yourself. It is time to face these stories head on. Here are 3 simple steps to fixing the stories you tell yourself. Step number 1, identify the story. Now this is actually the hardest part. The stories we tell ourselves are so ingrained, so automatic. We've told them to ourselves so many times that they don't sound like a story anymore. They sound like fact. It's time to expose these stories for what they really are. Now think about the major pillars of your life: health, business, relationships, family, finances, spirituality. Then ask yourself, is there something that's keeping me from being where I want to be? Here's an example. A few New Year's ago, Michael, my husband, and I went on a story hunt. And in the finances section of our life, we weren't really where we wanted to be because of a condo. We had a beautiful condo, and when the market crashed, we had a beautiful upside down condo. Now, the story of the time on the news, in the paper, among our friends, and certainly in the Scottsdale, Phoenix, Arizona, was either foreclosure, and that's not an option we were willing to take, or hemorrhage money for the next 10 to 15 years. Those were our options. That was the fact. But that New Year's Eve, when looking at our finances, we identified the story for what it really was. A story, not fact, a story. And then we moved to step 2. We challenged it. What if fact was just a story after all? What if you could change the things in your life you thought you couldn't? We challenged the condo story, started exploring our options, and sure enough, 8 months later, a few simple adjustments, we were break even. Not upside down, break even. A $250,000 gap, reworked and gone, all because we challenged the story. Finally, the third step to fixing the story problem is to rewrite it. Identify your story, challenge it, and then rewrite it. Seek out a story that serves you. Think you'll never get back in shape after a knee injury? Read articles of vets who have lost limbs and are running marathons. Think you won't find love after 45? Ask the woman in your yoga class who just got back from her honeymoon at 55 to tell you her story. Destined not to be successful after your hard childhood? It won't take long for you to find someone who had the odds stacked against them and won anyway. Go looking for the stories that serve you and then rewrite your own. Another example, when I was early in my first pregnancy, I had a knack for putting on weight. I put on pregnancy weight like a champion, and I started to get a little nervous, like, is this gonna come off? So I called one of my girlfriends looking for a story. She had a baby, and she said to me, wow, I had a friend who told me you just kind of keep 10 pounds per kid. Now I thought, that story sucks. All right, I didn't want to adopt that story for myself, so I went in search of a new one I liked. I talked to the moms at my spin studio who all looked phenomenal and asked for their stories. And they would say, yeah, you know, it took a little bit of time to get back in shape, but now I feel better and stronger than ever. I thought, that's the story I want for me. And that's the story that occurred. Now, what's important for you to know is this. Stories are extremely persuasive. This is why I have a job. People hire me because they want to persuade their audiences or their customers with their messages, and they know personal stories is the way to do it. The catch or the dark side of storytelling is when you tell yourself an extremely persuasive story that's holding you back, you may never get ahead. Don't let that happen to you. Follow these steps. Identify, challenge, and rewrite. Be proud of the incredible storyteller you are and tell only the best stories to yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps. And remember, you really are just one story from greatness, and I can't wait to one day hear yours. We'll talk to you soon.